Hey guys, welcome to the GBM podcast. My name is Parks.
Kason.
Lance.
And we are a video marketing agency. We help you get more clients for your business. Today we're going to be talking about 9 things we learned in our first year of business. So Case, you want to start off or?
So I think the one thing I learned is as far as equipment goes, and it more so for equipment, but just with everything, you got to kind of make your investments. You're going to have to spend money as a business. It sucks, but you're going to have to spend money, and you're probably not going to make a lot of money at the very beginning of your business. But when you do spend money, spend it, do your research. Don't be afraid to kind of
break the bank a little bit.
Break the bank and make sure you have what you need. You're buying quality stuff, and don't buy any gear that is unnecessary. And don't be super gear reliant, but I mean, get the gear that's going to help you do your job the most efficiently and most effectively that you can. And yeah, sometimes that does mean spending a lot of money. And so I think that's just one of the biggest things that I've learned and kind of helped me out is just not really being afraid to spend a little bit for equipment and not
that
just
is the
buy the
first
cheap.
I've ever heard of. It's better to spend more, like making a business, because I've always thought bare minimums.
So okay, this is I'll interject here. So it is good in a business to be very strategic about the way you spend your money, but if the way you're making money in your business is the quality of your video, the quality of your capture, that is something that, because I want to add on a point to what Kason is saying, which is a lot of people think that they are being smart by saving money on equipment, but your competition is going out and they're renting the highest quality stuff. So don't be afraid to spend a little bit extra for that little bit of extra quality. It kind of goes against what we said in a previous podcast where we said just make sure you capture something, but Well,
yeah, I think that's making do with what you have and doing the best with what you have. But when you do have some disposable income and you do have a little bit of money to spend, kind of make sure you're getting quality stuff. And whether that means waiting a little bit so that you can buy this mic, maybe you don't have the money right now, or buy this camera, buy this lens. I think you think you're saving a lot of money buying a cheap option, but in the long run, I think you're
going to outgrow that piece of equipment a lot faster.
Right.
Another thing
it could break. It's just not as well made for the most part.
Another thing is if you are going to skimp out on something, a lot of people make the mistake of skimping out on audio first because video is the name of the game. But the truth is, and tell me if you guys have had this in y'all's personal experience, the thing that turns a viewer off fastest is poor audio. So poor audio quality is just a lot harder to deal with. It's a lot harder to look past than a slightly grainier or slightly noisier quality of footage. So if you're gonna go the extra mile with the spending, definitely do it with your audio.
I'm not watching a video that has low quality. I'm not doing that.
But is that pretty much the extent of that person?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so passing over to me. So what I want to say is, in the game of entrepreneurship, in the game of business, a lot of people jump to this conclusion of, okay, what's hot right now? What's a good lucrative business or trade to get into right now? Avoid the mistake of pursuing what is hot, and always niche into something that you are genuinely interested in. If you're genuinely interested in whatever your niche is, you're going to be able to outwork everyone else because it's going to feel like play to you. And it's the learning is going to be just kind of very passive and very enjoyable. The grind of it is going to be a lot more enjoyable than if, like, for example, so we went into video because when we were kids, we used to make YouTube videos. We used to just have fun making videos and making each other laugh. And then eventually we figured out, okay, this is something that can give value to other people, something that other people would want and would be willing to pay for. And so do something that you actually feel genuine purpose at, and you'll find that even if you're not raking in huge bucks to begin with, it's going to come with like a sense of fulfillment, and it's going to come with a sense of meaning. So that's what I have to say for that one. Lance, you want to go for number 3?
Number 3. What is number 3?
You're just like your point. We're gonna just do, each of us are gonna just do 3 points of things we've learned in the past year.
Okay, well, I was just selling pest control door to door, and it was scorching hot this summer in Texas. It was like one of the hottest summers ever recorded, and I was just out there wheeling and dealing, knocking pavement, and pretty much I just had to cold start a sale, meeting new people, directly becoming like an uninvited guest.
So what's like the easiest way to kind of like warm someone up like off of a cold start? Like,
well, you gotta generate some sort of rapport with them. You gotta kind of bring them down to the level that you're just another person. You're just like that. You're that guy that helps out the neighborhood, and you're someone that they can trust, and you're someone that can deliver the best service for them at the lowest cost. And that's kind of like, well, that's my persona when I go out and start knocking doors.
just like selling yourself.
Selling myself.
Yeah, I mean.
Selling them.
Yeah, sell them on you.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Kason, you want to give us number 4?
I think number 4, it's a whole lot easier said than done, and this goes with like any aspect in life, but I think finding your mentor, and then a kind of sub answer for that is finding like your peer group. So finding someone who you can go to with questions when you're totally stumped, and then also finding someone who you can almost compete with. And it doesn't even have to be in a very competitive or rival kind of sense, but more of like a friendly, like two competitors trying to compete for the same goal, same aspiration that you can kind of reference yourself to. And as far as a mentor goes, I think it's just. I think when you're, starting your own business or with anything, starting your own business, trying to learn an instrument, trying to, acquire any skill, you're going to have a lot of questions, and the more niche the skill, the more niche the questions will be. So if you have someone who maybe went down that same avenue or a similar avenue that you can kind of bounce questions off of and not totally rely on, because I think a mentor sets you in the right path, but doesn't like put you doesn't give you a handout, but gives you like a hand up. And so I think just having someone you can go to with those questions and providing an answer or helping you find an answer is really important. And I mean, it's hard. I don't think a lot of people want to be a mentor, but I think it's really important, and I think it's going to accelerate your growth in whatever field you're trying to be successful in. So
mentoring other ones helps out?
Teaching definitely forces learning. If there's somebody in your life who you can provide some kind of a, piece of advice to, or
like a Padawan.
Exactly. Take on Padawans. We are saying right now, take on as many as you can handle, because people are going to come to you with questions that you have never, maybe you know the answer, but maybe you've never been forced to explain the answer. Maybe you've only ever, because we make a lot of leaps in our understanding, and we just assume a lot of things. We assume that other people know things, and so teaching definitely forces learning.
Well, and like
So-
another thing is like I think it is like once you've kind of established yourself in whatever field you're in, or you're still growing, but like if someone comes to you with a question, like nobody really wants to be a mentor. You don't want to take the time to like teach someone this lesson or teach someone how to do this thing, but it's like it's important to like pay it forward so that because if you're really passionate about film, then I think you're passionate. You want to be a great filmmaker, but you also want to see great films. And so the best way to see great films is to inspire other filmmakers and support other filmmakers so they can make better films. And
I heard somebody the other day. Somebody said asked some political question, and somebody responded and said, "It's not my job to educate you. It's not my job to educate you." That is all of our jobs. That is all of our jobs as humans to make sure other humans can live and thrive and everyone can be happy. And that can only happen when you do take on the responsibility of you take the responsibility on yourself to reach out and help someone that you could help.
Right. Well, and I think there's like a distinction too between like a teacher and a mentor. Because I think a teacher is someone who knows how to do it, but they maybe won't teach you or won't.
They're getting something out of it.
Right, unless they're getting something out of it. But I think a mentor is like someone who is so passionate about this subject that they can't help themselves but to like get involved with the like furthering of the subject through like I don't know, like I guess students. Yeah, I mean, that's about all I have on that. If you want to.
All right. So that was number 4. So number 5. Number 5 on the list of things that we've learned in our first year of business is all good things come with risk and responsibility. So, like starting a business, it's not easy. It's a hell of a lot more difficult and requires a hell of a lot more personal risk and personal responsibility than having a 9-to-5. Now, I'm not speaking down on anyone who has a 9-to-5 or has chosen that for their life path. Some people are less risk averse, and that's perfectly understandable. However, one thing that always bothered me about a 9-to-5 was the level of constraint, the needing to be one place at a given time, regardless of whatever I have going on in my life. And I saw entrepreneurship, I saw owning a video production agency as a path to more personal freedom. Now, the thing about more freedom is you have to, in some sense, you have to earn it. You have to put your resources on the line. You have to be your own boss. You can't go to someone and say, what do I do next? You have to, me and Kason had this conversation a bunch of times early on when we were just kind of like, just messing around, not really being serious about this, where we said, oh yeah, there's nobody to like chew our ass when we're just kind of messing around and not taking this seriously. There's nobody to say, hey, it's been a week and you still haven't started that edit. And so that initially in that first year, that was a learning curve, is saying, okay, I have to wake up, in the morning, and I have to pretty much treat myself like an employee and like a boss.
I think that's where it becomes important to have peers too, is because you have another reference to someone who's at your same level, who is probably progressing about the same time as you. So if you're not progressing, you're going to see them, they will hold you accountable, directly or indirectly, but you have kind of a not so much a boss, but someone to look at and go like, okay, yeah, I haven't been on my game this week. I need to pick it up, because they're not stopping. So
yeah, that would be all I had to say for number 5. Lance, you want to?
Yeah, I just wrote down be able to handle rejection.
That's a good one.
That's
a really good one. Yeah.
And
go for
hell,
it.
knocking door to door, you're gonna get rejection half the time. You're gonna get no one answering the door. Hell, I was doing it in 2022. No one likes solicitors, period. And especially in Texas, we had to enforce that if you see that no soliciting sign, then you kind of get that judgment of going up there and actually knocking the door. But hey, that comes back to rejection. I wanted that turnaround because the people who with the no soliciting sign are the kind of people who don't get a lot of solicitors going up their door and knocking it. So if I put out a no soliciting sign, I'd probably forget about it in a week or two because I wouldn't get that much foot traffic on my porch. But hey, I was that person to be knocking on those no soliciting signs.
He was the solicitor.
You're not safe. You're not safe.
That's risk and reward right there. That's a big risk right there with the no solicitors, but I mean,
oh yeah,
it's a big reward too. But no, yeah, I think as a small business, like you're starting a business, you're starting whatever, you're gonna have a lot more like losses than you do wins. But I think the wins, one win outweighs X amount of losses. Because it's like, I don't know. I imagine as a door-to-door salesman, it's like you get no, and then you get a yes, and you're like, okay, here we go. I'm back.
Yeah, that's absolutely it. And then 50 more no's.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to get that momentum.
Yeah,
but momentum's a killer. Like it'll come and go, and it's hard to achieve that again once you have it and you lose it.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's a really good one. So this would be 7. So this is the 7th thing we've learned.
So number 7, I think it's very cliche, and but I think a lot of people forget. But maybe you get lazy. But I think every job you get, especially you're starting a small business, and I mean this goes for anything. Small business, you're a small-time musician, you're a small-time filmmaker, whatever. First opportunity you get, any opportunity you get, you have to really make it count, because. Like I'll be sitting here, we don't have a shoot plan for, another couple of weeks, and I just have idle time, and I'm like, man, all I want to do right now is just shoot. I just want to get out there and I want to have a shoot. I want to have a shoot plan. I want to work again, so that because it's every time you work and you have an actual a job, or you're a musician, you have a gig, or a filmmaker, you have a project that you're working on. That's just your opportunity to that is game time. It's like, okay, everything I've practiced, everything I've been sitting here thinking about, next time I get out there, I'm going to do this. Okay, this is the time to implement it. So, you're on a hour 6 of an 8-hour shoot, and you're like, man, I'm tired. Like, I'm ready to just go home. I'm ready to just call it a day. I think that's when you kind of got to you got to lock in, and it's cliche, but you got to lock in, because that's when it's most important to really show up and be on your best game, and I don't know. I think I take it for granted a lot of times, the opportunities or the jobs that have been kind of put in front of me, but I think you got to make the most of every single job that you get, every job, every opportunity, every client that you get. Because I don't know.
Networking opportunities come from additional clients. New people.
Networking.
I think that's a good one. My last one for my personal learning is just that learning never ends. Learning never ends. You will never know enough. Let me repeat that. You will never know enough. We live in a culture where you get out of school and, you say, well, I have a degree now, so learning's over. Now I should get to reap the rewards for, the work that I put in. As soon as you decide that the learning is over, as soon as you decide that you know enough, that is when life will swallow you alive. That is when your business will stop making money. That is when the growth will stop coming. And it was a learning curve because I had spent time in college learning film, and in film school they don't teach you how to run a business. In film school they don't teach you how to get clients even. In film school they teach you 3-point lighting,
The 180 rule.
the 180 rule, and
Every time I hear the 180 rule, I roll my eyes.
so and look, rules are good. It's good to learn the fundamentals, and it's good to learn because the thing is, if you're not aware of these things and you're saying, well, I don't need to learn, the 180 rule because it's a constraint on my artistic whatever, you are lying to yourself. Your pride is preventing you from evolving. I want to stress this to no end, if not to anyone else, then just to myself. The learning never ends. And like also, entrepreneurship, building a business, building anything is a really good way to stress test all the knowledge you've been stockpiling. Because also another very common thing is rather than not learning enough, telling yourself, I need to know more before starting. I need to read another book. No, you don't. The real learning happens when you stress test everything that you've been kind of stockpiling up until this point. Because then you can separate the wheat from the chaff. You can go, well, that book was bullshit. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten out into the real world and something that I read in a book turned out to be completely wrong. And I was like, wow. The path of entrepreneurship, or even just the path of, like marketing yourself or whatever, doing freelance, it really is just a way to speed up your learning, because it's saying, I'm going to take on this challenge, and I'm going to see what I actually know.
Well, and I think that college, I think that's not to say that college is totally useless. I think in college they give you a very good blanket kind of information, and they teach you the basics of, if it's film, they teach you the basics of film, how to get by and be a professional. But they don't teach you the kind of niche topics and film in a business standpoint, or film in a just a more centralized. So that's where it is important to, okay, get my basics, I understand film, I understand what a good picture looks like. Okay, but now what do I want to do with it? Because I think that's when your specialized knowledge and your specialized learning will really be in your favor. I think.
Yeah. All right. So that was my last one. Lance, you get the privilege of the very last one.
Don't mess it up.
All right.
Don't mess it up.
All right.
No pressure.
Time management and planning. Position yourself in a rich industry that you can. Well, first I'll just do time management, because when I think where am I going to be in 3 years? Where am I going to be in 5 years? I want to reap the benefits of that time. I want to position myself. Where is a rich place for me to grow? And if it's film, if it's sales, then I want to be in the best film agency, or I want to be in a film agency in this amount of time, and I want to be excelling in 5 years. Or if it's sales, then I want to have this many sales right now. And sales is so much different because you just gotta keep growing. You gotta keep growing in 3 months. It's a lot more short term, but really just time management in a business is important because you want to have the best outcome of your time.
Yeah,
when you're young.
I think it's time is the only thing you can't really you can't buy time. It's cliche, but that's the only thing. So it's important as a businessman, or just a
human being,
right?
That's trying to get anything done.
Maximize your time to whatever you feel is important, but make sure you're not wasting your time.
Yeah.
Well, anybody have any closing remarks or anything like that? To anyone who's wondering why we're in a pool, the only thing I have to say is, why are you not in a pool?
My
Damn right.
rebuttal to that is the pool's a little bit cold right now, so it's slightly uncomfortable. We're Gore Brothers Media, video marketing agency. We help you get more clients.
Yes. We do that by helping you generate content, not just making the content for you, but making sure you understand what makes good content. At the end of the day, like we don't just want to sell to you. We want people to know how to get their message across, because you know, I would genuinely rather see more people able to articulate their message in a way that is satisfying to themselves and is upbuilding to everyone than I would like to see myself get rich. The bright side is I think that you know, in doing the former, we stand to also do the latter. So guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Parks.
I am Kason.
I'm Lance.
And we are GBM. Goodbye.